Hello and welcome to the Gothic Unicorn. In today's video I'm going to show you how I turn a simple piece of mass-produced furniture, such as this, into something far more one of a kind. This is a makeover that I have completed a couple of times before, in that I've turned this simple side table into a dresser. Now, this is the dresser in question, one of them. This one's for my witch's cottage, and as you can see it looks quite different, and I'm going to show you how to put a back onto it and turn it into a dresser. Please note this one has been cut down because my witch is less than 1/12 scale and this furniture is approximately 1/12 scale. It's passable, let's put it that way. There are many people on YouTube who have made over this same kind of piece of furniture because it's cheap and easily available. It's available from dollar stores in the United States. I buy it in the UK and it costs me an entire £1, and I'm sure that they're available online for similar money. It's not the best quality of wood. It's completely unfinished, the drawers don't open, but it is a reasonable piece of furniture for actually doing something with. I am going to turn this into a dresser, a bit different from the one that I showed you that comes from my witch's cottage, but still a dresser. Now, to do that I'm going to use craft sticks. Now, craft sticks come in a variety of sizes. These are the ones that are known as lollipop sticks, popsicle sticks, sort of standard craft sticks. And then I've got some bigger ones as well. These are a bit more like the tongue depressors that you might have experienced on a trip to the doctor's office. But those are going to be my main materials. Now, I'm looking at this piece being approximately 6 inches tall in total, which would give the equivalent of it being 6 foot in height. And so I've just sort of marked that out on my desk so I can see. And when I put Granny alongside it, it looks to be realistic. Now I'm going to build a back using, the small craft sticks, which are going to be my first step. And I'm going to do that by sticking the pieces together, but first I need to trim them. I cut my craft sticks on one end. I've left the other end rounded because, to be fair, yes, I could cut it, but it's going to be hidden behind there, so to me it wasn't worth it. Purely up to you. Plus it gave me maximum length. Now I've also pulled out some coffee stir sticks. Sometimes they're sold as skinny craft sticks or just skinny sticks, because I'm going to use those for holding my shelves. They're going to be a bit of a shelf support. Now, while I was waiting for all my craft sticks to dry, I've cut my shelves. I've cut 2 pieces for the sides from the ordinary craft sticks. Those are jumbo craft sticks, and then I've cut my 3 pieces, which are going to be my shelf supports, but they're going to go above the shelf, like so, not below. It will just give a little bit extra wood for the glue to adhere to, and also I just like the look of it. So the next thing is to actually start gluing some of the pieces inside. I will start with the side piece and the back piece and then work my way down. Now the distance between the shelves is going to be just over 1 inch. I'm not going to be too exact about it because this piece is supposed to look rustic, but if you want to plan out exactly where everything's going to go, that's fine by me. I just tend to play it by ear a little bit more. I have stuck most of the pieces into place now, my one side panel, which is deliberately only part of the thickness. It's the look I want. I got an idea in my head and I've just gone for it. And I'm just going to stick the last piece down. Now I'm using wood glue for this, which does mean that it needs to be held in place and has quite a drying time. But it has the bonus that it does stick really, really well. I am just going to put some glue all along my edge piece. And I've just realised I've done this the wrong way round. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end of each of my shelves. So I'm now going to put this into place. Using the and that will then, I'll hold that in place for a while, and then once it's dry I can see how it looks on the actual base table. While waiting for the top section to dry, I've turned my attention to the original table. Now I could, as I have done on this one, change the little wooden door pulls for something else. Now on this one I don't know if the camera's catching it very well, but I've made little that's better, little metal handles just out of some jewellery wire. But I decided against that because I wanted to avoid having to redo the drawer fronts, because the problem is these are very well glued in and you quite often end up with an annoyingly large hole when you take them out. What I did do was I made a shelf to go underneath, and I made that using a little bit of basswood that I happen to have. I don't use a lot of wood outside of craft sticks in my miniature making, but I bought some of this ages ago and it's been sitting around the craft room and it just seemed like the easiest way. And so all I've done is I cut a piece, measured between the legs both ways and cut a piece, and then I've notched out where the legs have had to go. And I think that looks quite good, and it's going to work really, really well once the dresser is a finished piece. Since the glue has dried, I have added a base coat of paint, which is this rather bright green. Now it's actually a lot brighter than it looks in the bottle, but don't worry, my witch has not gone totally crazy yet. This is the undercoat. I am going to add a darker green over the top, and then I'm going to sand some of it back so that some of this will be visible. We're going for the shabby look, not shabby chic, definitely shabby. The second coat of darker paint has been added, and whilst I wasn't sure at first that I wanted this piece to be dark, I do quite like how it's come out. I've also started with distressing the edges. Now this is basically the same as you do on a full-size piece of furniture, in that you go in with some sandpaper or a nail file. You can use sandpaper by all means, but I just happen to like using the board kind of nail files. These are quite thick because they're a handy size, and I can get them into all the spaces that I can't always get even a little piece of sandpaper. And I'm just going along the edges, trying to make as little noise as possible because this is a noisy step, and just taking off some of the paint to show the lighter, brighter green beneath. I've also been a little bit less than careful in a few places with the paint, so that we get these little patches, like at the back there, where the lighter colour comes through. It's all part of the sort of look I want, which is of something that's old, been hanging around a while, and not necessarily looked after in the best way possible. I have finished the dresser off with a coat of matte Mod Podge. I didn't want a polished look, but old furniture tends to have a finish all of its own, built up by years of dirt and dust, and possibly a little bit of furniture polish here and there. And I've also started to add some ageing with some chalk dust, which I've put into the corners and places where I thought dirt might have started to accumulate. I will obviously add more dirt when I come to dress this piece, but for now I'm quite happy with how it's turned out. And here is my finished dresser from my £1 side table. I've brought Granny back into shot so that you can see that it is in fact 12th scale, and that I actually succeeded, and it is around about 6 inches tall. I think it works perfectly well with her, and it's going to look great in my doll's house. This wasn't what I intended to make this week, but I'm pleased that I did. I'm looking forward to dressing this piece and to displaying it in Grandma's witchy attic. Now, if you'd like to see more of my makes and whatever else I get up to here, I upload videos every Friday, and maybe you'd like to subscribe. But until next time, bye.